believe we're live. Hello world. Welcome. We're here. Are here today to continue where we left off yesterday. Learning Clojure. So last thing we did was write a function which behaves like reduce, but returns each intermediate value of the reduction. Your function must accept either 2 or 3 arguments. The return sequence must be lazy. So learned about lazy sequences, wrote a nice function that performs just that. Right, we get sequences. We get a sequence of intermittent values, states, I guess, whatever you want to call them, and performs a reduce. So yeah, nice, not bad. It looks correct what we wrote. And let's go ahead and take a look at the solutions. Let's take a look. Yeah, because I'd be willing to bet the solutions other people came up with are equally verbose. Almost exactly what I did here. Some of them. Yeah, I think that's probably best. Similar kinds of solutions. Reduct. So that's, oh, okay. I was going to say reduct is a new one to me. My reduct. R. I wouldn't recommend naming a function R. Seems a little too terse. Breviloquence is the goal here, but that's a little too. There's a certain point when you're missing. How do you say? Terse to the point of curt. And actually, it becomes curt. Rudely brief. Curt. Brusque. Becomes brusque or clipped. Brusque. Yeah. Yeah, brusque or and less comprehensible. Yeah. More difficult to comprehend. A little too curt, almost curt. Yeah, a little too short, making it almost more difficult to comprehend. But yeah, it looks like just about everybody had a similar kind of expression here. How did I organize this? I did put this on one line. Although this I spread into multiple lines, but I could have put that all in one line. This one here. Well, it's almost the same thing. What's interesting is the cons lazy sequence could be swapped the other way around. Could be lazy sequence of cons. See this? Cons of lazy sequence. Could be lazy sequence of cons, apparently. So I did lazy sequence first. Not sure if it really matters if there's much of a difference. I don't really know. I don't think so. Yeah. Okay. Alright, looks like the solution I came up with is more or less the way to do it. This is an interesting one. What does this do? FV, F, and then oh, interesting. Okay, what do they call that? This implies that the collection is non-empty. Oh, okay, because that'll get the first of the collection. It's S. Oh, that's interesting. Well, that's a good idea. right, and then variadic with what's left over, which could be nothing. I like that a lot. So you use this to get the first and rest of the collection in a kind of elegant way, simple way. I like that. That's clever. It's some value in going over other people's code, because they do neat little tricks here and there, make your code cleaner. But yeah, that's definitely, I like that a lot. What do you call that? That is a destructuring. Yeah, destructuring of the collection into the first part of the collection and the rest of it. Interpreting the collection as a single argument, actually. Destructuring the argument. Yeah, you see this? These brackets make it a single argument. So that's pretty neat. I like that a lot. That's very good. That's very good. Problem here though is actually this isn't supposed to be S. This is supposed to be the this is supposed to be the function when you call it the first time. So let me show you what reduce does. Technically wrong though. What he did here, not quite meeting expectations, or the expectations for the definition of the function. I'll explain in a second. So here, if you provided a value, then right, you would say lazy sequence cons v the value provided, and then you're going to say reduce with a bunch of arguments, and then one of those arguments is apply f using v and s. It's really v and s are the arguments, and r is right this result is the rest of this collection. And the when, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I had that in there too. Okay, the when, I should have probably used that as well. Let me look at what that does. This I like a lot. I'm glad we looked. This fellow's solution is quite good. It's quite good. Also, is there anything incriminating here? Anything incriminating? Not really, no. Evaluates test if it's true. Evaluate the body and implicit do. So, right, I think I had that. In mine, I had a nil, right? So it would return an empty set. But this seems to work either way. It would return. You wouldn't even cons if the when is not there. Or really, it's just cons v and nil, which is actually going to give you the set containing that value. Oh wow, that's pretty clever. It's pretty good. I like that. It's very good. Nice. Very nice. So, and S just means that there is an element there. If there's no element, then this the whole thing just becomes nil, and then you cons with nil, which is just the element, a sequence with a single element with v in there. What is that possible? If R is nil, then this destructuring, this is all nil, and this when becomes false. Wow, that's very good. I really didn't think this all the way through. I kind of was just those few pieces here that I'm now edified on. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. So okay, neat. I like that a lot. That's a good solution. Destructuring. I didn't think of that. It's the same. It's almost the same code. It's just like this is the kind of stuff that like I appreciate a lot. Is like readability of your code, breviloquence, and maintainability, readability, all that good stuff. This is like so simple. Some seriously high quality code. Because all these things do the same thing, but quality of what you wrote matters a lot. So anyway, to continue. So that's pretty cool. I'm glad we looked. I was gonna say, like, I'm not sure if there's really a lot of value in looking, but there is quite a bit of value. There was a lot of value there. Yeah, when we looked at and reduce. Oh yeah, his solution is actually wrong though at the bottom part, and the reason is collection contains no items. F must accept no arguments as well. Turns the result of F with no arguments. If the collection has no items, F accept no arguments as well, and reduce returns the result of calling F with no arguments. Interesting. Excuse me, I'm not entirely sure about this one, if this matters or not. To call it on an empty set. Yeah, actually that wasn't really covered in the other program. I'm not sure that this case was. And then also, if the collection only has one item, its return and F is not called. I'm not sure if that was also covered. And then finally, this piece, if collection contains no items. Oh, wait. What? If collection contains no items, F must accept no arguments as well, and reduced returns the result of calling F with no arguments. If collection contains no items, turns val and F is not called. Oh, if val is not supplied. Okay, it's confusing. So there's like a bunch of different cases here. If val is not supplied, returns result of applying F to the first two items in the collection. Oh, I'm wrong. Oh, I'm wrong about that. Oh no. I was wrong. I was wrong. Excuse me. Yeah, I thought this calls F with no arguments to get the first value, but it actually... Oh, very interesting. It takes the first two items. If there are no items, then you call F with no argument and return the result with no argument. Okay. I don't know if this case is being handled, though. This is a good question. I'm not really certain. Collection only has one item. It's returned and F is not called. And this is if there's no val. And then if val is supplied, return the result of applying F to val in the first item of the collection. Then, yeah, okay. So there's like some sort of edge case type stuff going on here, which now I'm not even sure if my code handles this correctly. I don't think so. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the code we looked at handles all that as well. I kind of don't feel like going through all the going through each case. We could, but I prefer to just go on to the next thing. I would say, yeah, because we have reduce already. But either way, pretty cool, the program that we looked at. And so we'll move on to the next thing here. So, map construction. Write a function which takes a vector of keys and a vector of values and constructs a map from them. We can't use zip map. Okay. A vector of keys and a vector of values and construct a map from them. So what you can do is you can actually map and then do a merge with over the result of the maps, which is kind of interesting. I think it works like that. You can do, or another way of doing it is map list. And if you map list, what happens if you map map? I'm kind of curious. So let's see. Oh, no. Sorry, we can get rid of the rest of this. I'll show you what this does. See this shortly. Kind of wish I could, I don't know, I'm wondering if I should start using a REPL or something, because it's kind of slow for me to save this and then run it here and kind of keep going back and forth, because there's startup time associated with running in Leiningen. So I'm like a little uncertain if I should try to use the REPL, speed up like learning and tinkering and all of that. Alright, let me see if I can start a REPL. So, let's see. Visual Studio Code, start a REPL, Clojure. Calva seems to be the way to do it. I don't really like Calva though. I really just want to start line REPL. Can I do that? That work? I don't think so. I don't think so. No. Shucks. Shoot. We can do line clean, line build. Line REPL. Is it make? I don't recall what the command is. Check. It's clean. Oh, compile. Yeah, probably line compile. That's what I want. Can't start the REPL. Line. Oops. Clean. And line compile. And then we probably want line REPL. Create in this context. Leiningen, REPL, issue. Whoa. Root Insurance, Columbus, Ohio. Oh man, there's some nice numbers I got going on here. Whoa. They use Ruby and React. Interesting. It's the same job twice. Interesting. Anyway, install script from my Ubuntu. Attempt to use the line into the REPL. I get a rather nasty dump to the console. Yep. It's a common known bug. Line upgrade. Project directory. Oh, interesting. Okay, let's line upgrade. Delete and retry. Okay, hold on a second here. Hold on, folks. Alrighty. Users. Where are we here? Users, somewhere here. Users, will, desktop, and I don't know, we want line, self-install, standalone jar, delete and retry. All right, delete it. Go. Downloading line again now. Okay. I didn't really do much. Huh. Why am I doing this again? Oh yeah, I want to start the rep, try to get the REPL going. There's gotta be a way to do this. What error am I getting? Maybe, well, I have a project though. Like, I don't know. Create in this context. Let's just see what this comes up with. Clojure, lining in, job exception. No. Clojure, lining in, REPL, create. Okay, see what happens here. Building, running the REPL. Now the problem with this is I read some of this. This book is cool. This is great, but the issue that I run into is this is great, but the issue that I run into is they use Vim. Excuse me, Emacs. I think it's Emacs. They use Emacs for this this book, which is not what I want to use. Source Clojure core file. Maybe because it's a class. No. I think the issue is, do I need, like, does this matter? Because there's a main REPL options. Can I not, do I need to, this would suck if this mattered. I think it's because I did something funky here. Got this main class, it's gotta be a create now, something, I don't know. Bah humbug. Bah humbug. Clojure REPL create. Like there's all kinds of stuff, right? We're gonna have to finagle here to find out. So, or not finagle, but look stuff up. It's not a Clojure function that we're looking for. It's actually a line again thing. REPL. Can we do REPL help maybe? Could try that. There we go. Okay. No, the reader that I was looking at there is not really that good. Not so clear. So, start REPL session either with the current project or standalone. Okay, subcommands, none, start. Launch an nREPL server, connect a client to it if the host key is given. So, subcommands, start. Excuse me. How does this work? Subcommands. Headless. Connect. Transfer greeting function. I don't want to connect to any server. I don't understand. I don't want to connect to any machines. I just want to run it locally. Launch a server. Excuse me. The host key is given. REPL host is set, or host is present under REPL options. That host attached to, defaulting to localhost otherwise, which will block remote connections. The port key is given. Port is present. Server chosen randomly, starting outside of a project. Internally to line again. When run on a trampoline, the client server step is skipped entirely. Use the headless command to start trampoline server. Can I just do headless? Trampoline. I forgot what trampoline does. Clojure trampoline does something kind of funky. Something to do with mutual recursion. I don't know. Headless. Can we do line REPL headless? Is that a thing? Does that make sense? So let me create in this context. I don't understand. Like, what are these error messages? What is going on? What am I missing here? Something's not right. Arguments. REPL profiles activated. I guess that's fine. I don't know. Oh. Close this now, I guess. Let me go get my sweatshirt. I'm getting cold. Oh, what the heck are these errors? Okay. Right, so, what the heck? REPL options, I got that, but, huh? Maybe it's the REPL options the issue? How about REPL? I'm landing in REPL options. Oops. Sample project. Options may be set, contrived, covers a lot of options. Description, URL, mailing list. Excuse me. Oh. REPL. REPL plugins. Dumb REPL aliases. Trampoline run m Clojure main. Oh, my mouth, my head, my face. Run my project.main. Do I trampoline the REPL? Can I do that? Oh. Oh, okay. What? I don't know what's happening. Bye for now. Nice. String cannot be cast to number. What? Excuse me? What? What is going on? What is the problem here? What the heck is going on? I do not understand what's happening here. Please? No? No, no bueno? No mas? What is going on here? I do not understand. What does M, the dash M do? Run, trampoline run, dash M. I don't know, man. I don't know what's happening here. I'm so unfamiliar with this. Context. String to print when prompting for input. Prompt, welcome, initial namespace. Excuse me. Socket, the REPL task listens on and attaches to. Server customization. REPL handler, middleware. Could assign middleware to the REPL stack. Interesting. Handler, default handler. Kind of want to go lay down now. This is like, come on, man. Come on, man. I have no idea why it's not working. Not the slightest clue. Not the slightest clue. What is even going on here, man? What is happening? Alright, cannot be cast. String cannot be cast to number. Where is that happening? In module base of loader bootstrap, start server, okay, connection, address. Maybe I just need to specify the address. Maybe that's the problem. And then we've got what about just regular old REPL. There's no create. I don't know what is happening. It's so confusing. There's apparently a create that needs to exist. Why is that? Can go to the whole. Oh. Oh boy. I want to go lay down. Delete on exit. Java file, fine, do set 1 on reflection, dodo quote, try, okay, acquire, exception, auto, Clojure when not, resolve. How many characters is this? Oh, it's only 3,000 characters. Yeah, that won't take any time at all. That won't take any time at all. I can put this in a different format here. Oh, that's interesting. So just catch. This looks like it's what is the expression for this? How do I explain it? Machine generated, a lot of this. Apparently there's binding going on here. Clojure core, okay. Print line. What am I even looking at here? I don't know. I don't know. This exit, where is this? Okay, when not. Got it. There's another try here. Okay, so getting some sense of like getting some sense of what this code does, I guess. Delete on exit. Whatever that does, whatever that means. Do one reflection, dodo, try, catch. This is exception. Run these. This looks like it's machine generated. I don't know exactly what compiler generated. I don't know exactly what this means. This does. So the problem is this whole stack trace. I don't know. It doesn't say where the whole stack trace is. The REPL server launch timed out. I do not know. Delete on exit. I guess that just means that this will be a temporary file. This file won't stick around after we're done. After these commands execute. I don't fully understand, but we can clearly see an exit that happens here, and we see an error message that says REPL task is incompatible with these older versions. Can downgrade or use use trampoline for simpler fallback REPL. M Clojure main. So line trampoline run M Clojure main. Let's try that. Line trampoline run M Clojure main. Let's see what happens if we do that. Oh! Got the REPL up. Success! Great success. Great success. That's hysterical. How do we exit the REPL? Just Control C works. That's hysterical. Alright, so we can always get an older REPL up, a simpler REPL. Kind of want to lay it down for a few minutes here, just because that was a doozy. That was a doozy, man. Okay. Jeez. Sure. Next thing I guess is the next thing I guess is holy smokes. Unbelievable. 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 Are there any other messages hidden in here? How much is left of this thing? Still 3,000 characters. This is only 600 characters so far. You gotta be kidding me. Come on, man. Error loading REPL. Print. That's what you print. Wish there was like an automatic formatting for Clojure that I could just pipe this into so it's readable. So got this OR. I don't really know what that does, but apparently these are messages. What's that try? So this try looks like we just try to load the nREPL server. Require. Okay. So these are just requiring a bunch of different things. So we try to require the Clojure complete core, whatever that does. Oh, excuse me. Where'd that go? Okay, so that was correct. There's this try here, and then there's this. This is this do. All right, fair enough. So there's just another do that comes after that one. All right. And how many characters is this one? 2,000 characters. I got through 1,000 characters. Not bad. So this is Clojure when try class for name sun miscellaneous signal catch class not found exception try miscellaneous signal handle. So there's this here. Try catch Clojure Clojure when. And then underneath this is another try. Looks like this is the end of the when. There's a do. Just trying to organize this in a way that makes some sense. Wow. Oh, okay. So that's the rest of it. All right. So we've let. We have some bindings here. Oh, okay. A whole boatload of bindings, huh? Looks like this let is where you bind things. Jeez Louise. Start server, take some arguments. I wonder if there's already a server running there and that's why we're having issues. Also, these look like actually keyword arguments, which I think you can do in Clojure. Holy smokes. Still 1,000 characters to go through. 1,600 characters. Alright, there's a lot of stuff in here, but this looks like, yeah, you basically start the server here, and there's a bunch of arguments and function calls that are made. I want to go lay down now, man. Alright, fine. Why not? You call this function. There's a function here which has some arguments. It's just one function call. So this is somebody's function. I never had to knock on wood. Actually, the cat should really go inside the try. I never had to knock on wood. Ba 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 ba. Ba da ba ba ba. So those are all the bindings that occur. So this comes back. And we have and here's this mapping. Interesting. I don't know what to do with that map. Whoa, these go way, way up there. Where's that go? All the way up there, okay. No, it's still a single binding here. This goes way back to the top. Here. Alright, hold on. What is this? This is like... It's all the way back to the top of this binding. It's like 3 spots over. Wow. Wow. So that's the port. So you got the server, you got the port, and then you got this port file, which is this thing, and then legacy REPL port. If this thing exists. So those are all your bindings, and then this is the call inside the let here. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. I never had to knock on wood. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba. This is being called inside the let. So when false, started on this port. I never had to knock on wood. So then there's this spit of a whole bunch of stuff, a couple things, another when, I don't know what I'm looking at here, another spit that occurs, which is just pushing information. I never had to knock on wood. There you go, that's your whole program. Holy guacamole. Yeesh. Hey man, part of me thought of asking you to send the people with ideas, but no money in my way. You know, I've been looking for ideas, yeah. but probably better for me to focus on other things. People with ideas, but no money my way. I've been looking for ideas. Focus on other things. Yeah, I mean, I was being somewhat facetious, like when I was saying that. Like people have things that they want to do, like for themselves, and usually, like, yeah, it's a kind of more of an abstract thing. It's not like there are things that other people want to do in concept in their own minds. They've got like some idea, like they want something, I guess, solved in some way. But they haven't like fully mapped it out, and it's like they don't really even have an idea of like how they might pay you or how you can get paid, and it's just kind of like a lot of it's very half baked. Actually, there's two things, right? So there's like people that I run into that have ideas, like in my day-to-day life, friends and family, things that they would like to do, and not to like knock them, because they're not wrong. The things that they want to solve are real problems, but I guess it's not an easy undertaking. It's not like a simple, it's not a, what do they call that? Not an easy, not an inexpensive undertaking in terms of time and effort, right? The things that people think they want to solve, and oftentimes it's like the things they want to solve are not really even worth the time it takes to solve it, kind of deal. That's one thing, is that's the first one, is that like friends and family have ideas, but they're not really like, they're almost not worth pursuing, and so I wouldn't present them to you, because it's like a lot of times it's also kind of personal, those things, things that are specific to like a job, like as an example, a job that someone's doing. They see like a certain problem at the job, and they think, oh, software that could solve this problem would be great. There was a woman that I was talking to, a friend, who she was saying that she worked for the federal department. I don't know, what does she work for? I think it's the Federal Reserve. She worked for. She worked for she was it's a government position that she had, and she was talking about like software that could handle like documents that they have to fill out. That it would be great if she could like build some software. I talked about it with her, and I was like very briefly, and I was like, it was like an example of like, yeah, that software probably could be built, probably would be good, but like I don't really want to pursue it. And like if I wanted to refer her to you, like you'd have to actually like really talk to her and get like the whole, really like map it out, get the scope, and it's like it's a lot of effort just to scope out the problem in the first place. There's kind of a lot, even just the plan itself is kind of a lot that goes into it. And then so that's like the first one. The second one that I get are actually people at my current place of employment, where basically they're paying for me for my time over there, but the more stuff that I take on, the more work that I do, it doesn't mean that I'm going to get paid more. It just means I'm going to have more work to do. And so I've got like a whole boatload of, not a boat, but I've got other people that I deal with at the office where they would like something, and I can help them. I can take it on, the extra work, in theory, but it's like the more work you do, it creates more work, like beyond just building it in the first place. And so I'm constantly saying no, because it's like, once you build something, bring it into fruition, now you've got to maintain it, and that's expensive. So that was really twofold. It was like, so the second set of things are ideas that I can't really tell anyone else about, because it's like proprietary, it's stuff that I work at my job. But the first set of ideas are like kind of specific to the person asking, which I mean, technically I could refer you to these people, but like, I don't know. I'd rather not overall, because it's like I said, it's kind of a lot of work and effort, and there's also a certain degree of like a lot of these folks. I mean, I'm friends with them, but it's not like I see them every day, and I'm not like, um, I'm not on that. Like, I'm not. I don't think I could necessarily get them to like go talk to an acquaintance that I'm acquainted with online, like at the drop of a hat, so something like that. Because, like I said, it would take a lot of fleshing out the stuff. So it's pretty like, yeah. Um, I appreciate that though. Thank you. And that's very long-winded response. I realize long-winded way of saying I'd rather not. Um, but yeah, it's mostly because like I don't know. I don't see it being such a simple thing. I see it being like you kind of got to have like a lot of communication with the people who have the idea in the first place, and that itself is like expensive. Because person's time is not free. People typically want to use their time for stuff or just to work, what have you. So probably better for me to focus on other things. Yeah, I mean, you can come up with your own stuff too. I would say that the best thing to do is probably if you don't have any ideas what to do, like get a job as a developer, like find employment. Someone else work on someone else's idea. Like that's what I'm doing now. Most like I have a bunch of ideas for things, but like I would need money and I would need a better plan and I would need like a way to convince someone to loan me the money. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Is I want to get the goal is probably get like a few $1 million in loans, and then I can sort of build whatever I want to build from there. And there's a number of things I want to build, but they're kind of, well, for starters, I can't really get money. I mean, there are ways to do these things, but it's very like it's kind of, I don't know, it's not complicated, but it's just, I guess I really got to think about it a lot. And I think the real problem is not so much that I have a lot to think about, but a lot of these things are really not clear or obvious as to like how I could make money doing these things exactly. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of would rather like have something going that I can then leverage rather than try to leverage nothing and into nothing. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard to express, but basically I've got like a certain set of things I'm trying to do now, but it's going to take time, and so it's like, well, work with someone else while you're figuring things out, which is correct. Exactly what I'm doing. So yeah, but I'd recommend that. I'd recommend just work for someone else who don't know what to do, for a while, and then build something on the side. And I mean, as far as ideas, I mean, I got loads of ideas, but I'd say like if you're looking for like side projects to work on, I'd say just about anything that involves like machine learning is probably really valuable. I think there was a guy that recently sold his startup, some machine learning startup, that he sold it for $60 million. This fellow was talking about it on YouTube. Like, that's pretty good. I think YouTube was built in a year and a half and sold for about $1.5 billion to Google way back when. So, there's a lot of projects you could work on that's worth a lot of money. And the machine learning stuff, you probably can make a few million if you come up with something a little more interesting, like a YouTube or something that like people really want, people really like, or like a Facebook, something, things of that nature that involve like something really, what do they call that? Like fundamentally human that people really would be invested in and interested in. That, it could be worth a lot of money. I mean, Facebook's probably worth, what's the market cap? You can look at the market cap for Facebook, and that gives you an idea of what it's worth. It's almost $1 trillion. So, yeah, I mean, you could build a company that's worth $1 trillion as like starting as a side project. Really got to find something that, as far as ideas go, you got to find something that, like I said, people could really get invested into, like people really want. Like Facebook, it's like, oh, I want to connect with my friends, and like that's sort of the selling point. Stay in touch with folks. It makes it way easier to do that. There's something like Facebook. Email is good too, but Facebook's just kind of, it's a little different, you know, because it's like, you know, your Facebook friends or what have you, whatever it is. Yeah, I mean, there's loads of stuff. But yeah, I'd say anything with machine learning is probably pretty good. That's probably worth a few million. And then what's the other one? If you got like a really good idea, that's like, you know, people could really like. I think Facebook's working on Libra coin. Actually, after watching some of what Zuckerberg was talking about, I think that's actually a really good idea. I think that'll be worth a lot of money. And then yeah, there's all this. I mean, there's loads of stuff that gets a little more. You know, you kind of got to get like to the root of like human interest, human endeavor. But if you really want like more than a few million. But yeah, basically just anything machine learning is probably pretty good. And then yeah, work for someone else while you're still, you know, figuring things out. Like that's what I'm doing. That's what I would recommend. I think that's like the sort of safest approach, I guess, simplest approach. I know your idea, the AI that solves Project Euler. Yeah. Eventually. I'm getting pretty close, I think, as far as like the idea. Still mapping it out, like how it can be done, but I've got a pretty good sense of what can be done. It'll be interesting. I need to learn more though about machine learning. Like there's a bunch of AI stuff that's been done already that solves kind of not similar problems, but like similarly difficult problems, and I should learn how those work first. So I've got kind of a long way to go. That's actually, by the way, why I'm learning Clojure. One of the reasons is I want to put together, because Clojure's functional programming is very good for concurrency, and if you want to have like super fast algorithms, like super fast machine learning algorithms, which have lots and lots of computation that they do, concurrency is like key. So I think writing my algorithms using probably OCaml would be the goal. I'll probably end up writing a bunch of like OCaml based machine learning algorithms, I guess. I don't know how exactly I'm gonna do it, what it's gonna look like, but I think learning Clojure has value. So yeah, that's why I'm spending all this time trying to get a freaking REPL going here. I get you. Oh yeah, and some people want NDAs and stuff. Non-disclosure agreements. Yeah, there's that too, right? I mean, also, but the people that ask me about ideas they don't want NDAs. They're literally like, I have a problem. Is it possible to solve this? Like, it's like, yeah, of course it's possible, but like, you know, that might cost $1 million. Like, there's a piece of software that I worked on that technically cost something like $500,000, and in terms of like the time, the cost of the time that was put into it, the people that worked on it, and how much time they put into it, what their time was worth, approximately. Like it's not all that fancy. It's a $500,000 piece of software, but it's pretty almost mundane what it actually does. But yeah, I don't know. It's just how it is with the software. It's really expensive. It's like really expensive. Like it's a pretty critical thing, but nice talking to you. I'm gonna go see someone. All right, take care, Prince Polka. Talk to you soon. Thanks for hanging out, saying hello. I do appreciate it. Just kidding. But yeah, man. Yeah, thanks for asking. I had a friend with an idea. It would take a team to complete if possible. Yeah, that's how it always is. It's just everything's a work in progress. Everything's step by step. You know, slow steps. It's hard. It's hard, man. It's hard. But yeah, so all right, let me get back to this. Trying to debug why I can't get a proper REPL up here. I can get the older REPL up, the simpler REPL, whatever that means, but I can't get the legacy REPL, I guess. I can't get the proper REPL up. and why. Alright, so we finally took our program and broke it into 100 different lines so we can actually read what's going on here. This is just the output. I think this is what it tried to execute to start the REPL. We didn't get this, but this is useful information anyway. We were able to run a REPL. So we can get back to work using the simpler REPL. The whole point of all this, by the way, is just because if I'm going to be doing a lot of this line run stuff, you notice there's a few seconds delay between these executions. I would much rather execute a REPL and just add the code into the REPL and run it right then and there. But anyway, so what error message did we get after all? Excuse me. I think the error message is, let's try running. Unable to resolve symbol create. Can I not see the full error exception? So this, it couldn't compile this, I think. Somewhere in here is a create. Create NS. Create namespace. Unresolved symbol create. In this context. What are we missing here? Maybe we need Clojure. Do I need Clojure core, maybe? Dependencies, Clojure REPL. Like maybe there's some dependencies I'm missing. Yeah, I'm gonna go lay down for a few minutes, man. Hold on. I'll be right back. I'm not gonna lay down, but just hold on. Okay. Running a REPL and using libraries. CLJ tool. Okay, just run CLJ. Oh, that works too. Interesting. How come the line again REPL doesn't work though? So strange. Gonna do main. Hello. Well, this is interesting. Huh. It's time to shave, man. Might be time to shave. I think there's some reading about Clojure I haven't done yet. Specifically this. I guess it's just a lot. It's a lot of stuff. Exist only on your local disk. Extract the CLJ time parts of this application out into a library in a parallel directory timelib. Extract the CLJ time parts into a library in a parallel directory timelib. Time library, dependencies, EDN source, load time. This is another project. Copy the dependencies file you already have and create a file. Time CLJ. Timelib, dependencies. Dependencies EDN, use local coordinate. Oh, interesting. Okay, local root path timelib. Cool. So when you compile, you can specify where the other libraries are. So you have this dependencies in your EDN dependencies, and you've got this time library dependency, timelib, and then you say, I guess, where is it, which is local root path to time library. Interesting. What would this look like in practice, though? I wonder. Using Git libraries. Share that library with others. Public or private Git repository. A Git library. Okay. Commit. Other examples. Local draw ahead of time compilation. Include a test source directory. Like AOT might be what we want also later. Optional dependency, override a dependency, include a local jar on disk. Oh, we don't really need to do that. Can reference the class with import in another source file. Notice that the namespace is also added and requires a compilation can automatically find all dependent namespaces and compile them. Compile in the REPL or run a script to do the compilation. Compile hello, and then run the hello namespace. So I guess we'll just use CLJ to pull up the REPL and go from there. We don't need to use Leinigans REPL, although I kind of would like to use Leinigans REPL. Why I can't just use the Leinigan REPL is a little odd. Yeah. Alright, Control D and exits the REPL. Alright, well, we'll just keep going. Leinigan, if you have installed Leinigan, you can use it to launch a REPL. Output like the following. You run line REPL from inside a Leinigan project directory. Dependencies and source code will be available. Okay. So I think it might be an issue with my dependencies, maybe something like that. Also, maybe this is supposed to be 10.1 now. Not sure if that matters. Subprocess failed. Syntax error, compiling, unable to resolve symbol create. Why does that matter? Main. Do I need to have a class also? Oh. So I could start the CLJ and do things, but I can't seem to start the Leinigan REPL. Now if we get out of a project and we start Leinigan REPL, I think that won't have an issue. Yeah, you're kidding. You're kidding. So the REPL is no issue if I started outside of the project directory, but if I start it within the project directory, run into issues. Alright, that's good to know. So there's something funky going on with my project. Alright. That is good to know. Also, I'm real sleepy. I am real sleepy. Cool. Cool. So there is something about this project that's causing this REPL not to operate correctly. So that's good to know. That's some important information. Some process fails. All right. How about maybe we need this pprint. Maybe that's the problem. Oh, this is just the as. Just kind of using this incorrectly. Should. Yeah, I understand what this person's problem is, but the problem I'm having is I don't actually need. I think pretty print is not an explicit dependency here. What I could do is just go to Clojure, go to Maven Central, and check where it is. I mean, this works too. Say Clojure, right? Artifact Clojure or Clojure. So that looks like Clojure is /Clojure. If we do pretty print, yeah, I think pretty print is actually part of. I think pretty print is actually part of. Yeah, part of the core. Clojure pretty print. It's not core. Where do you get it from though? Full namespace. Clojure pretty print. Yeah, I think it's core. I think it's part of the core. It may not be the core namespace, but if you just get Clojure, you'll have it. It's not technically part of the core, but it's part of the whatever you want to call this dependency. It's a main dependency. Yeah. Anyway, so there's apparently some issue with how I run. Actually, this project configuration file, that seems to be the issue. It's not obvious what the problem is though. Init ns test clj core REPL options. Maybe if I remove the REPL options, maybe that's the problem. No. End of file. So it's an issue processing the project itself. Oh, there it goes. Alright, so my REPL options didn't make any sense. That was the problem. Particularly initializing this namespace. That's probably why it was giving me an issue with create. Test CLJ core doesn't really have a way to create. Interesting. That took so much time, man. I feel like I spend loads of time on kind of trivial things. Okay. What do you want to call this thing here? Leiningen, REPL. Oh. What am I missing? What's this called? Init ns, that's what I'm looking for. I don't know. I don't know what this is. Yeah, this doesn't. Init ns. Still user. Man. All right, I don't know. I don't know what the problem is exactly. If I throw a main in there, I'm curious what happens. Oh. Hey, check that out. Heck yeah. All right, we'll just leave this out, this REPL option. Seems fine. Okay. Took a while, but we got there. Took a while, but we got there. So now what I can do is just execute code right in here. There we go. See, isn't that faster than running line run every single minute or so? I said I was gonna take a break. I don't know. I kind of want to like, Oh boy, another 15 minutes. All right, we'll spend another 15 minutes, then I'll end stream and we'll do we'll reset here. Yeah, end stream, take a break, come back, do a couple more hours, do some stuff, I guess. Come back and continue. But yeah, you see that. So okay, so what I want to do is this map list, and what I want to do is merge with this map list and merge that into into a map. See if that works. Syntax error reading its source. Okay, that's interesting. Instead of list, you can try map. I wonder what that does. Oh no. Okay. Create iSequence in Java long. Yeah, that's kind of tricky. I wonder if you could apply map, maybe. Apply hash map, something like that. I wonder what this looks like. No. Hash map. Yeah, map and hash map are a little bit different. No value supplied for C3. What we can do is say, so if hash map of this, let's try just regular old hash map, which I need to go see what the syntax is. Don't mind me. Oh, this is so much faster. Yeah, working from the REPL definitely makes a big difference. Key values, key val. Okay. So if you do, oh, I see. Oh, okay, that's interesting. So you can do, so actually, if you did something like this, C1, 2, 3, AB. Yeah, what we'd want is B to go here, C to go here. Take a look at that. C3, B2, B2, A1. Okay, neat. So that somewhat does what we want. The problem we have is what we would want to do is apply the hash map. These now, the thing is, we would want to concatenate these. There's cat map also here. I think would be good. There we go. Booyah. Booyakasha. Booyakasha. Cat map. That's one of my favorite functions, man. Or map cat. It's a great one. It's a great function name. Yeah, this is why you want to go through the REPL. It's just way faster. Aha! There we go. Mapcat. And then apply. Huzzah! Apply the hash map to the mapcat. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We can go even further and call this anonymous function, which takes these values and get that result. Oh yeah. Huzzah! Huzzah! Applying the hash map to the mapcat. Ah, nice, nice. Easy, but pretty good, pretty interesting. Congratulations, solved the problem. All right, fantastic. And 6 minutes to spare. Array map interleave. Oh, maybe even better to do it that way. Oh, I didn't think of that. Interleave is good. Ah, I should have considered that. And they used an array map. What does an array map look like? Aha! Could have done that even better than mapcat. Mapcat list is almost the same thing as interleave. It's more or less the same thing. Yeah, or array map. Go look that one up, what array map does. Oops. Same thing. What's an array map though? Clojure array map. Array map, if any keys are equal, they're handled as if by repeated use of association. Interesting. What is an array map? Keys are equal, they are handled as if repeated uses of association. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Array map A10. So this looks like it's the same thing as a hash map. Make map, a zip map. Fewer than 9.5 items, you get an array map. If you have more than 9.5, you get a hash map. What is an array map? What's a hash map? What's the difference? I guess this is get similar results. It's interesting. So there is a difference between these two. It's not clear what the difference is. Clojure difference between an array map and a hash map. This is like, talk about super nuanced knowledge about a language. This is like extremely esoteric and arcane. Yeah. The arcana. Yeah. Extremely arcane and esoteric. Oh. Okay. Difference between the hash map and array map in Clojure. Clojure has an array map and hash map. Couldn't figure out the difference between the two. Can you explain if possible with an example? Array maps keep the insertion order, but you shouldn't rely on that behavior except for very simple cases where you know the maps. Map is not going to be modified. Use an ordered collection if you really need this behavior. Array maps should be used for very small maps, 16 keys right now. So lookup and modification performance is better than a hash map of the same size. Okay. Oh, I see. So for very small cases, an array map has faster lookup, but an array map is basically just an array with linear lookup times. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, very interesting. 8 keys, internal arrays, 16 keys and values. Order behavior is basically a side effect of its implementation and its existence. Explained as an optimization alternative for hash map. Small sets, not an ordered map. I've run into this problem in the past with my on stream when we were talking about like algorithms and whatnot, that it's actually faster to use a small array and to iterate through the array for what you're looking for when you're dealing with 8 or less items. When you're dealing with more than 8, then you want to use a hash map. It's faster with a hash map. Which actually is interesting because that implies if you're writing a program and you have a switch statement, right? 8 different possible branches for your program from a particular point. It's actually faster to check, iterate through all the 8 different possibilities rather than use a jump table type of thing, like a hash table to jump to depending on the state, which is kind of interesting. Don't see that too often. I don't know what the implications of that are for programs, but I guess it means that you're using somewhat large switch statements is not the worst idea. About eight is not bad. Yeah, like if else's, eight if else's, not nested, but just down across. All right, cool. So, all right, that's 2 hours. Let me go ahead. Right, we looked at, so you could use it. Array map is actually probably better. So interleave you could use instead of map cat list. Either one works. So we're getting comfortable here now with Clojure, what can be done. So let's go ahead and re-implement iterate. We'll do that next. Let's take a break. So that was like more than anything else, a few hours of just, I don't know, debugging my development environment so I can get a REPL going. But this will be better because it'll be way faster now when it comes to actually like testing the stuff that I'm working on. You know, going through all the different things. Yeah, so let me get going. So I'll be back in a bit. Thank you for watching and take care. Talk to you soon.